My name is Quagersall. Welcome to Deep Dives. In this series of videos, we're looking at interesting tags for you to play in EU4 1.30 and the Emperor DLC. Alright, so if you missed the first two episodes, the link to the playlist is down in the description. We looked at France and the Low Countries and Prussia and Northern Germany. Today we're going to be focusing on Southern Germany. There's a lot of interesting tags in this area. I decided to include Bohemia in this video, as I didn't think they fit well into the Northern Germany video, even though they technically are listed as the Northern Germany region in EU4 here. I think they should really be Western Slavic along with Poland and Silesia, but you know, that's not a big deal. We're going to be talking about Austria, we're going to be talking about Bohemia, we're going to be talking about Bavaria, and we're going to be talking about two tags in this area that have new achievements and are very difficult for you to play if you think you're really good at this game. So, if you want to support the video, if you want to support videos like this and the channel, like the video and go down to the description and give me a comment about what you would like to see in an edited video like this. Would you like to see achievement run explanations, mechanics guides, how to get world conquest or PUs or things like that? Let me know. I want to make the kind of videos that you guys want to see. But anyways, let's jump in and see where we can see what we can do. So first up, Austria. I highly recommend, as soon as you're relatively familiar with the mechanics of the game and you feel like you're ready for a heavy Diplo game, play Austria. Play the Emperor, unite the HRE. This is the core gameplay of EU4. This is the best experience. Now, it doesn't suit everybody's playstyle, but the way it's being buffed and the way it's been upgraded and changed in this patch, I think everyone owes it to themselves to play Austria at some point. So, you can't talk about Austria without talking about the HRE. HRE has changed. This is actually a clip from a game I am playing on the channel. We're in 1463, trying to expand the HRE. Very, very cool stuff. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the description. But the HRE has just received some massive changes. So electors, free cities, princes, same kind of system as before. There are more of each of these. You can get an 8th elector. You can actually get 15 free cities and as many princes as you want now. Well, you could before, but it broke the menu. Now you can scroll it, which is super nice. And now there are a bunch of different ways of doing reforms. So you've got your normal reforms, and then once you hit the perpetual diet, you can switch and go either decentralized or centralized. Centralized is very similar to the old way of doing the HRE. You can get the Revoke the Privilegia and Renovato Imperi and actually form a single tag and the vassal swarm here. Or you can go decentralized and do things like boosting the free cities and getting another elector and manpower and tax and dev cost, and then eventually you'll be able to do the Reichskrieg, which allows you to basically attack anyone with the entirety of the empire. Now, there's one thing that a lot of people don't realize with this that they don't think they were very clear with in the dev diary, is once you get the Reichskrieg, you can only use that CB against someone that you have less dev than. And when I say you, I mean you as the emperor, not as the empire as a whole. So this encourages you to stay relatively small as the emperor. Get PUs or other subjects to grow yourself, because you're eventually going to want to use this Reichskrieg on France or Poland or maybe the Ottomans even. And you're going to need to be smaller than them in dev to be able to use the Reichskrieg. But anyways, the Empire is super fun. Most people, I think, are going to go centralized, and that's still a very fun way to play. But try out the decentralized if you want something a little bit different. Austria has received a massive mission tree. It is probably top 10 in terms of size, at least top 10, probably more like top 5. When you're looking at maybe Britain, now France, and the Spanish tree, this is way up there. It allows you, of course, to get the unions over Bohemia and Hungary, but it also allows a union over the Poles. It allows a union over the Milanese. Oh, no. Milanese. and Naples. Now, if Naples is not independent, this will not be a union. But when they are independent, as it is in this campaign, it becomes a union. And, you know, it just a bunch of things about going after France, going after the revolution, the Ottomans. There's a bunch here, and you even get an achievement for completing it. So even more incentive to play Austria themselves. The incidents are another thing that is occurring. I've only got the Shadow Kingdom one in this campaign, but there's the Burgundian Inheritance, King of Prussia, the Hanseatic League events. There's a bunch of incidents, and playing with the Emperor is really fun. And then Austria is so flexible. You can still play a very fun and strong Austria game where you say screw you to the Empire, get the unions, and then pull yourself out, maybe go Protestant and be super strong. If you do play Austria, let me know. I'd love to see how big you can get your HRE. Now, if you are lucky enough to get to unite the HRE, in this patch, you actually get access to new ideas and a new mission tree. Now, this is the same mission tree as for Germany. It includes, as long as you can unite Germany, you're going to get a bunch of permanent claims. I'll show them to you on the map here. Bam, 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 bam. Eventually invading into all these areas, getting down in after Poland, you can re-annex this area here, go up into the Baltics and Scandinavia. There's things here to try to get you to improve your economy, and then this right here has the need to have at least 10,000 ducats and greater monthly income than any other country in Europe, which will basically secure you the economic hegemony. If you wanted to go for this guy right here, you gotta have a monthly income of 1,000 and greater than any other tag, which you're basically gonna do if you do this. Build a navy, go into London if you'd like, scramble for Africa, get an overseas empire over in Qingdao over here. So this is 100% the same mission tree as Germany. I guess they're saying you form Holy Roman Empire, you form Germany. Either way, it's about the same thing you're going for. Just two different paths to the same point. But what the Holy Roman Empire has that Germany does not have is this amazing idea set. Now, pay no attention to these ideas. That's what the AI took. But basically, these ideas are set up to be very strong. First of all, you start out with Diplo Rep +2 and a possible policy in every category. So there are other things in the game that give you an extra policy. Now this one, you can take 4 in every category. This is great for late game if you've built your ideas correctly. Additionally, you're going to end with 5% administrative efficiency. That means greater late game conquests, maybe eating up all this stuff that you get claims on and moving out into the rest of the world. World conquest should be quite good with the Holy Roman Empire now. They already were because of the vassal swarm, but now they could be because of the ideas of this guy. The ender of governing capacity is going to keep you in the states and able to do things for creation costs, improve relations to keep the coalition down, legitimacy to keep your absolutism up, and then you've got morale of armies and discipline to have really nice armies, and tax to help you fund them. This is a very good idea set. Now, if instead you decide to go ahead and form Germany, you will receive the same mission tree with a few slight differences to the Kaiserreich thing here. But you get Imperial German ideas that are quite good as well, but in a little bit different way. Diplomatic relations, infantry combat ability, discipline, army tradition, tech costs, unrest. It's a pretty good mission tree as well, and administrative efficiency. It's very similar, and can be used to be very powerful. So they've really incentivized going for Germany or for the Holy Roman Empire. Next up is Bohemia. So Bohemia is a very flexible play. You start Catholic, but with some Hussite lands. You can decide to go Hussite through an event, early in the game. I got mine in May 1447. I chose to accept Jiri Z Podebrad as ruler and flip to Hussite. This means my mission tree changes slightly. If you stay Catholic, this mission tree will try to make sure you get rid of all of the Hussites. If you become Hussite, this mission tree tries to make sure that you become fully Hussite, and if you do, you'll get a center of reformation and start being able to spread the Hussite faith all around you. Now, other than this question of faith, the Bohemian mission tree is pretty strong. We're talking about possible unions over Poland, over Hungary, and into Austria. You can get a subjugation on the Brandenburgians and the Saxons, and then the fate of them happens, which allows you to decide if you want to integrate them or split them up and that kind of thing. Bohemian Commonwealth is diplo annexation costs, which would help you to integrate all of these subjects that you've acquired. And if you want to go back onto the empire, which would be a little difficult if you went Hussite, but you'd be able to if you forced the Peace of Westphalia, you can get more imperial authority growth and try to form a very large empire, which gives you this peace in Europe thing till the end of the game, which is quite strong. Monarch skill, like permanent +1 monarch skills, are very rare in this game, so that's a very strong thing right there if you can pull it off. Now, Bohemia is kind of set up for you not to go Hussite with their imperial authority growth on here and the mission tree, but like I said, you can try to force the Peace of Westphalia, which would let you go Hussite and be the emperor. There's talk of possibly letting Hussite also be the emperor if Protestant is allowed to be emperor, but that hasn't been confirmed. Now, there is a thing where if you go Hussite and you remain Hussite for a while, when the Reformation hits, you're going to be allowed to flip back to Protestant or flip to Protestant for free. So anything that is Hussite in your lands will become Protestant automatically. This could be an interesting way for you then to win the League War and become the emperor, depending on how your roleplay goes or what you're wanting to do. I would suggest, though, taking a look at Hussite itself. The infantry combat ability base is very good. The church aspects, very similar to Protestantism. You can pick 3. Some of these are very good, whether you want to do war, like manpower, shock, damage received, and war score versus other religions, or you want to try to clean up a coalition with pacifism, improve relations, harsh treatment to get absolutism later. Corruption is not bad, although it's less useful now that governing capacity is a thing and it's not too many territories. But there's some pretty good stuff here. It may compete with Protestantism in certain situations as one of the strongest Christian faiths. I know some people like the Orthodox, but I really think Protestant is the best currently as far as military application goes. Alright, so the next start I want to talk about is one that you might need to be a little bit more experienced to handle, but results in a very fun and engaging game in the long run. So I've chosen Munich here. I think it's one of the best tags to play in Bavaria, which used to be a tag, but is now all split up. But you can play as Landshut and have a really good game, or even Ingolstadt and have a really good game as well. So the mission tree for Bavaria allows you to start uniting it, and could eventually have you go and unite the Wittelsbachs by PUing the Palatinate, which would allow you to, if you're friendly with the Emperor, get the Palatinate's elector slot. It allows you to eventually get a union over the Austrians. It allows you to come up here and attack the Brandenburgians for a union. It's pretty strong mission tree, and it could be super fun, but you do start in a little precarious position, whichever one you decide. Munich actually has this little guy as a vassal and 2 provinces. Landshut has 3 provinces. Ingolstadt has 3. There's a bunch of events and the missions, like I say, to allow you to try to unite things, but it can be a little slow going at the start. But if you're able to get going, Bavaria can be a very fun play. In this campaign, I was actually lucky enough to get a union over the Brandenburgians, the Palatinate, Thuringia, and Saxe-Lauenburg. I actually inherited Saxe-Lauenburg as a PU. I probably wouldn't have taken that one, but it can be super cool. I was actually lucky enough that the Brandenburgians clicked the button to give themselves a illegitimate heir, and I was married to him, so I got a union that way. I got the Palatinate through the mission tree. If you already have Brandenburg, this becomes permanent claims, and then if you already have a union over Austria, this right here would just be permanent claims on his land. I actually have the opportunity to get a union over Austria there until 1519, so we will try. He's got the union over Hungary, so that would be an incredible boon to me, but I got to get France back in being friendly because he got a huge trust hit because I didn't join a war of his, I think. But anyways, this is just a little test game that I was playing. But yeah, Bavaria is really cool. Unfortunately, they have only an okay idea group. Highlights are probably discipline and money a little bit. That's about it. There's not much going on there. So you can really want, you're probably going to want to form Germany with Bavaria, unless you want to try for an HRE play as well. They could do that as well. But see what you can do with them, and I'd be very interested to know. Now the time has come to talk about the god tags in this area, the ones that you need to be very good at this game to take on. So the first one I want to highlight, and there will be two. First one I want to highlight is Mulhouse, the Republic of Mulhouse. So they just received, well, life in this patch, but also a new achievement. So it's called Everything's Coming Up Mulhouse. You start as Mulhouse, become the Emperor of the HRE, and completely decentralize. You'll notice you also have to prove that you've decentralized by doing a Reichskrieg. So you can't be super massive and not have anybody that you can use a Reichskrieg on. But you might also notice that it doesn't say is Mulhouse. This is just you have to start as Mulhouse. So yeah, if you didn't catch that, that's Milhouse from The Simpsons. I think that's great. But anyways, that means you can go here, follow the mission tree, dominate Swabia, Swabian League, Swabian Liberty, and here, if you can get somewhere like that, you really just need those two, and then, well, you need to have 10 provinces that are Swabian. You can form Swabia. So that's something you could do to let you try to get towards this achievement. But you're going to have to become the Emperor. You're going to have to keep the Empire alive enough to get all 5 of these reforms plus all 5 of these reforms. And you're going to have to do that without taking more than really more than about this. Because you need to be smaller than France or Poland or England or Ottomans or somebody so that you can use that Reichskrieg CB on them, because they have to have a larger dev than you. Now, they don't have to have a larger dev than the Empire as a whole, just you. But this, I think, is going to be one of the new, like, really hard to get achievements that very few people will get. So if you can get this guy, that's a really big badge of pride for you. Very nice. Now, the second god tag I want to talk about in this area is CILLI. Now, you might have thought I was going to say Celje or Celje. A lot of people have been referring to it as that, but that is just the name of the province. The actual county, and it is a county, is CILLI. And there's actually an achievement for them. Don't be CILLI. All you have to do is be CILLI and then not be CILLI. You have to form some other nation. Now that's going to be a little difficult. You don't have any formables as a Slovene culture. You are in the Baltics. There's not really much you can do here. You can culture shift. I would suggest one of the German cultures and go for one of them, or you can kill and become one of these guys down here. There's a couple tags available to become there. Or you could go the super Diplo route with annexation costs, dip rep dip technology reduction, idea cost, those sorts of things, diplomats and that kind of thing, and go a super diplo game and get a bunch of subjects and maybe form the HRE or form Germany or something like that. Whatever way you want to go about this achievement, it's going to be a little difficult. Now, in some ways, it is easier than Mulhouse's start because all you have to do is change tags, whatever tag. But you have a harder starting situation with Croatia under Hungary and then Austria. There are no expansion opportunities, especially if Austria gets the union over Hungary. You do start with a core on Austria and a core on Croatia. The one on Croatia will go away after some time. The one on Austria will not go away unless he changes the culture there, which he's not likely to do. It's an accepted culture, so he's probably never going to do that. So that's some benefit if you can somehow get that back, or if you're really lucky and Austria gets wrecked and somebody else just returns it to you. If that happens, I would probably release it as Styria and go kill Austria more. But if they release that, they've probably also released Styria. So whatever you can do, though, to scrape by, get a subject somewhere, maybe just dev to get a little bit bigger. It's going to be quite difficult to get this guy going, but if you do, the results would be glorious. One little last tidbit that makes this start even more difficult is you have nothing beyond the basic mission tree. So have fun. I'd love to see anybody who can pull this one off. I think this is also going to be one of those achievements that like 0.01% of people are able to get. So very impressive. So there are a number of other tags that I didn't mention. We talked about forming Swabia in the Mulhouse run, but if you are up in this area, you can form Franconia. Franconia is another formable tag with a small mission tree that helps you go and conquer the lands that you're going to need. Move down into Bavaria, who would be your main rival, that sort of thing. You're going to need 6 provinces. Oh, not Germany. You're going to need 6 provinces, one of which has to be either Ansbach or Nuremberg. And then you're going to need 75 dev to become an elector. So it's a little difficult, but it's a stepping stone towards the big Germany play if you're able to eventually get that. If you're able to, you'll get to form Franconia, and you'll get the nice new green color. You'll get new ideas, which are truthfully only okay. The traditions and ambition are probably the best part of this idea set, but you're well on your way with the aggressive expansion reduction to forming Germany if you're good enough. There's more in this area, a lot of little new tags. Running a game as a free city can be super fun. The one up here, Hamburg, is probably the best one in my opinion, but there's others to play and different varying levels of challenge. Try to pull off a world conquest as Nuremberg, or of course the meme that is Ulm, and you're doing pretty good there. Let me know what you think of my choices of who you want to play in EU4 1.30 in this region. Are you going to play maybe Switzerland? They've got a new mission tree and some interesting things that you can do. Could you maybe come over here and play some of these guys like the Palatinate? He's super fun and has got his own mission tree as well now. I'm super interested, and if you want, you can come over to the Discord and post some pics and chat about EU4. In any case, leave a like and subscribe if you want to help out the video and you want to help out the channel. I super appreciate it. Most importantly though, thanks for watching, especially all the way to the end, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.